It put a smile on my face. I'm a huge fan of this show, and one of the things I always tell people is because it's a true ensemble, in my opinion. There are literally more than half of the show that I'm not a part of. Milo and Mandy's stuff when I'm a child or when I'm a baby or before my character is born, I'm not a part of that. So I'm not on set for that. And when I watch the show, I feel like I watch it like the rest of America, like the rest of the world is for the first time. So I'm a fan of the show. And I think we have something special here, and to see it be recognized is truly special, because sometimes when you feel like you have something special, it doesn't resonate. And the fact that this is, and it's reaching people is it's humbling, and it's great, and it's just put a smile on my face. And I'm very, very proud of not only the show, but my co-stars and the writers and the producers and the network for taking a chance. And it's just, all is good. All is good. Whatever you feel like you have, you don't know if anyone's going to watch it. And so, and I was talking to Sterling and to Chrissy about that, and we feel like collectively we were responsible for 101 million of those views of the trailer. So we didn't know if anyone else was actually going to see it, but in all honesty, it's great. I mean, to have people recognize and appreciate what you feel like you have and what you feel like is special that you're a tiny part of is great. And I said a long time ago, and I think you and I talked about this, I said, I think our show is going to change people's lives. And I remember saying that to Dan, and Dan was like, hey, I don't know about all that, but I think we have a really great show. And I got to tell you, maybe for the first time ever, I feel like between Dan and I feel like I was right. I've had people walk up to me and tell me that very statement. You guys are changing lives. There was a gentleman that I saw the other day. He was at work, and he stopped me and he said, I want to tell you something. He said, this is the only show that I can watch with my wife and my children. Because usually he's watching sports or whatever, and she's watching the news, and the kids are watching something else or whatever. And for an hour they come together as a family, and that's more than I ever could have hoped for, you know. And it's very humbling, very great. I've had friends of mine tell me the same thing, so it's been great. It's not a show that is like, this is our message and we're going to preach this to you and we're going to shove this down your throat, and this is what you should be doing with your life, and aren't we great? In my opinion, it's a show about real life and trials and tribulations, things that people really go through in real life, and horrible tragedies that people go through, and wonderful things that happen to you in life, and celebrations and difficult parts of being a family. And I think I've heard a lot of people say, man, I feel like the show is speaking to me. And I've said to people, Kevin, he's this sitcom actor, and a lot of people can't relate to that, right? I mean, how could you possibly relate to being an actor on a sitcom? It's not a huge group of people that can say, oh yeah. But at the same time, the way it's written and the way these stories are told, a lot of people can relate to being underappreciated at work or in a relationship or whatever that may be, misunderstood, not taken seriously. And it's very frustrating, and it can be heartbreaking, and it can, I think, move you down this path where you do have this sort of epiphany, maybe a meltdown, like sort of what Kevin had. So yeah, I think it's Dan and the writer's way of of storytelling that makes viewers feel like we're speaking to them, like we're talking to them, and it's just great. It's just great to be a part of. I enjoy a challenge as an actor. And anytime you get a chance to play a character that's this layered and this deep, and I always said when I fell in love with Kevin right away, because I was like, you know what, here's a guy who is perceived a certain way, and he's kind of nothing like that, but he kind of can blame himself a little bit for being perceived that way, I mean, he jumped in right head first, and now he's like, what have I gotten myself into? That kind of thing, right? I think a lot of people can relate to that. And I think, one of the things I wanted to make sure that I did, which is the way the character is written, is he just leads with his heart. I mean, Kevin is all heart, right? And he gets that from his dad, I think. So it's been great to see how the writers have sort of written this story for Kevin. And if you take where he was when we found him in the pilot compared to where he is now, and I'm a few episodes ahead of the audience and what they've seen so far. If you take where he is now, he's almost a different human being. I mean, he's kept his humor. and he's tried to keep his grace, or as much as he possibly can muster. But he really is growing up and becoming, a man right before our very eyes. So, and it's a crash course, but I'm enjoying watching him stumble and fall and then get back up and, try it again and sort of make this progress, It's fun for me.